My name is Nathan Haynes. I use the pronouns he, him. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Brunswick, of the Wabanaki people, and concerns of the Wabanaki, whose people and culture live within and contribute to the vitality of this community we share. Today is September 21st, 2025. Our minister, Reverend Dr. Carmen Amos, is leading today's service entitled Belonging Builds Responsibility. Our music is performed by Will Bristol and the UUCB Choir. If you're new or visiting today and would like more information about our congregation, please stop by the visitors table in the fellowship hall in the back corner. The folks there will be happy to answer any questions you may have. As we begin our service today, please silence your mobile devices. And once again, we welcome you and we're glad you're here.
Good morning. My name is Susan Snow. I'm a member of Buildings and Grounds Committee, and my pronouns are she, her. Today's reading is by Dr. Hope Johnson. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can. We are one, working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing and rejoicing, getting to know each other, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes, paying attention, asking questions, listening, love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves, apologizing and forgiving with humility, being forgiven through grace, creating the beloved community together. We are one.
Good morning, beloveds. My deep honor to serve as the minister of this congregation. In fact, I cannot imagine anywhere else I would rather be or any other people I would rather be with to face these times than you. Here at UUCB, we are trying to be spiritual community for one another and inspire us on our own and with others to center love and make the world more just. If that sounds interesting, who you are, whom you love, or where you have come from, we welcome you and all of who you are into the sacred circle of this community, and we hope that you will feel so at home here that you will soon be welcoming others. We come to this place from many different experiences of the world, with many different gifts and sensitivities, with different commitments and passions, different feelings, and we come together because we need one another. And we can do more together to support human flourishing and care for the earth than any one of us could ever do on our own. I invite you to take a deep breath and take a quick glance around this room to notice you are not alone. You are here with us, all of us, human, brothers and sisters and siblings and neighbors who care enough to show up, who care about easing suffering for ourselves, for those close to us, and for people we may not even know, but whose pain we are unwilling to ignore. Welcome to worship, friends. Let us open our hearts to one another and the spirit of life present in and between us. Let us lift each other up during this time we share.
I'm gonna lift my neighbor up. We're gonna lift each other up. Please rise in body or in spirit. Let us sing this together. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope. Sing. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy. Keep on. time. There is more love. Look at someone next to you and sing it to them. May it be so.
Morning. My name is Tobin Cooney Calnan, and I serve as your lifelong spiritual formation director. And I'm in the service when I would love to invite our children and youth up to share a story. So if that's you, come on up. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Rona. I missed you. I missed you both last week. Nice to see you. Oh, hello. How are you? I brought my stuffed animal with me last week. Oh, maybe it was the week before. It was my buffalo. You okay, Nora? Yeah, okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Cleo. Hi, Caius. I don't have to, but I got this really soft rug for you all. Last week it was very colorful. It's a different one. It's still colorful, it's just not as colorful. Hi, everybody. What season is it? That's what month it is. It is September. Is it yours too? I just had a birthday in September. Your birthday's next Friday? But what season is it? I heard summer, I heard fall, I heard summer and fall. Is it summer or fall right now? It's both, right? Like today is summer, tomorrow's fall. Technically it's summer. Okay, good point. If we're being technical about it, let's keep it real. So, did you know that there are lots of celebrations that happen in fall? In that in some religions and cultures, fall starts a whole new year. You didn't know that? Did you know that, Tess? By the look on your face. So I have a story today that it's going to talk about a little bit about the harvest time, and this is when we just about everything, right? Here, just about everything. So a pagan celebration, a Wiccan celebration, and it talks about sharing and collecting and gathering all of the food. And it's also, it's Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. So it's the starting of a new time. How many of you started a new school year very recently? Yeah, so you know all about new starts, and we're in a new church year. This book is about it's called The Grasshopper and the Ant. And ants, you may have heard of this. This is an Aesop fable. How many people have heard of Aesop's fables? Yeah. So this is one of those beautifully illustrated. I don't have time for a chat right this second. You have a book of them? Awesome. All right, so this is Grasshopper and the Ants, and it's written by Jeremy. Why work so hard, sang Grasshopper. It's spring and time to go fishing. No time to relax, said the ants. Why labor so long, Grasshopper chirped. It's summertime. Let's have a picnic making music. No summer light to waste, replied the ants. Autumn will be here soon. Why toil so steady, asked Grasshopper. It's, oh, how their colors twirl and glide. Come dance and sing. Look at this wonderful mountain of leaves Come play. And how I love the sparkle of first snow. Come see. Working can wait, Grasshopper said. Wintertime is for making snow angels and snow hoppers. Only someone would join me, Grasshopper shivered. So he's outside, he's looking in, seeing all the ants all warm, and he's out there a little bit cold. And he's still out there being pretty cold. Let him in, let's find out. A cup of tea, asked Queen Ant. They let him in, and what is he doing? Yeah, they're having fun together now. Here he is playing music and drinking to Aesop's fables, usually. A moral is kind of a lesson, something that it's trying to teach you. And most people would say that the lesson for this one is don't put off until tomorrow what you need to do today. And that would be like the grasshopper wasn't doing his work, and then he would found himself really cold with no food. But what really happened in this story? What did the ants do? Mira. Yeah, they let him in. The ants were this community, and as a community, they had gathered in a spot, right? And they all did that work together. And then the grasshopper came, and he was outside, and he wanted to play with everybody, but he was all alone, really. And then he got to join the community. And as part of the community, he got to add to their dinner. What did he add to their time together? Music and dancing. Yeah. It's a pretty great story, right? Yeah. Pretty funny. Excellent. All right, friends, speaking of music, we are going to get sung out to our meeting spaces. You should figure out where you're going, since it's our first meeting in groups. Please join us in singing We Will Keep a Place for You.
Good morning, I'm Renee Manamitis, a member of the Pastoral Care group. She, her pronouns. This is the time we note what concerns and joys there are in our community. For concerns, and Angel and Rice writes, my father, Wayne Hall, transitioned this past Thursday. Family at this time, especially for my bonus mom, would be welcome. Signed. Today, we're attending a celebration of life event for a friend and neighbor, Jim Amundsen, who died unexpectedly August 1st. Don't have anything noted in joys, but as I was waiting to see if someone else was going to come up to write in this book, I began to read the poetry of Diana Mullins, her poetry and watercolors on display, and it's wonderful. I urge you to take a look. If you are not attending in-person services and would like a joy or concern read from the pulpit, you can send an email to joysandconcerns@uubrunswick.org. Service. Look for the light blue ribbons on our name tags. Our names are also in the order of worship. We would be happy to meet with you here or meet with you later. We offer a listening ear and our presence.
Would you join me in a time of prayer and contemplation? Spirit and force of love, help us center ourselves in you in this sacred time we share together. Some of us have been a little frazzled lately. Help us catch up with ourselves and rest in that loving place of connection between us, a connection supported and sustained by the very breath of life. Reminded that we belong here, truly, along with the concerns of our hearts, the joys of our hearts, all of the people and the places and situations we hold dear. This is our spiritual community where we come to offer and receive support and love on this journey of life. Let's sing together as we pray. Whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome. There are so many situations in need of care these days, including deeply personal concerns as some of us deal with grief. To stay positive and engaged when what we may want to do is run and hide. Spirit of life, we give you thanks for this community of belonging that holds us as we are. Having received this gift of refuge, may we be moved. Whoever you are, whomever you love, on your life's journey, you are welcome here. Beyond, there are so many people and communities and places around the world in need of healing. We carry in our hearts thoughts of family members and friends, play with and work for justice alongside, and the many people whose names we do not know who are important to our greater community. For everyone who feels isolated, for have enough food, shelter, water, healthcare, or love to thrive, we open and offer our hearts. Efforts to build a world in which everyone belongs and has what they need. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your, you are welcome here. Each day, the news is full of reports and stories and warnings that concern us. We don't want other people. Sometimes we are afraid, sometimes we are angry for them or for ourselves on our own. Today, we call to mind those living in situations of war and political unrest in Gaza, Sudan, Nepal, Brazil, the Netherlands, France, the United States, and many other places. We think of threats to free speech, voter suppression, the removal of humanitarian aid. Help us, great Spirit of unity, discover, rediscover our shared humanity and our capacity for compassion, and today create the conditions for a future in which all life is honored and cherished. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. Until it is so, may we work, live, and love together in earnest. Amen.
Well, it's an honor to stand in front of all of you. Anyway, my job this morning is to read the responsibility poem. Yes, News, you know that Charles Osgood was there for many years as one of the news people. So he passed away a year ago, and he left us with this poem. And the poem is the responsibility poem. There was a most important job that needed to be done, and no reason not to do it. There was absolutely none. But in vital matters such as this, the thing you have to ask is who exactly will be who will carry out the task. Anyone could have told something somebody would surely have to do. And nobody was unwilling. Anybody had the ability. Nobody believed that it was their responsibility. It seemed to be a job that anybody could have done if anybody thought he was supposed to be the one. But since everybody recognized that anybody granted that somebody, took for granted, I should say, that somebody would. And nobody told anybody that they were aware of that he would be in charge of seeing that it was taken care of and do what everybody thought someone would do. When everybody needed is it to get done by all. Everybody was complaining that somebody dropped the ball. Anybody could have chosen that it was an awful shame. And everybody looked around for somebody to blame. Somebody should have done the job, and everybody should have. But in the end, nobody did what anybody could have done. And I just want to add one thing. One of the things I've discovered in life is the more you give, the more you have. Thank you.
One of the things that happens when we belong with a person or with a group or to a place is that we begin to feel more comfortable. Belonging is a welcome assurance that we can allow ourselves to relax our muscles and reroute some of that energy that we use just trying to fit in enjoyable, more productive things. When we do not have to worry that we will be kicked out of the club for something about us, then we can breathe more easily in the work of the group. I want to invite you into a little memory exercise, if you would. Think about a place or a people that you belong, even tentatively. A place where you feel at home. Could be your home, it could be a best friend, a chosen family, a natural setting that eases your heart. Do you have something in mind? You can nod if you do. Thanks. Think about when it was that you started to feel that you genuinely belonged in that setting or with those people. Take a minute. All of our answers will have different timelines and details, but I think, that many of us will have experienced some subtle shift that takes place, often without our awareness, when belonging becomes real for us. You may feel that you belong, but did you notice in your recalling that something changed along the way? Is that generally true for you? The best analogy that I can think of, and please grant me grace if you think this is indelicate. In fact, if I did not feel I belonged here, I probably would not use this example. I can think of is that when you belong somewhere, it's okay if the first thing you do when you enter into the shelter of that belonging is take off your bra. Or your necktie, or whatever it was that you put on to look respectable or stave off judgment. I'm so happy you did not leave me hanging out there on my own. It's a great feeling, isn't it, when you can be at home with others and just be yourself without trying so hard. When belonging becomes real for us, we can be vulnerable and imperfect. We can stop pretending that we know it all and that we have everything figured out, and instead sometimes admit that we're confused or afraid or overwhelmed, and that we may not know what life is asking of us next, or if we have what it takes to respond. That kind of belonging, when we can just lay it out there and be ourselves, happens when we transition from being an outsider or a guest to becoming a part of the group. I can remember the first time in elementary school when a friend's mom said to me, "Karma, you are not a guest here anymore." I was probably 10 years old, and she said, "You're here more often than some of the people in our own family. You can get your own snack." What? It was so affirming to know that I belonged and that I could get my own snack. And let me tell you, friends, my friend's mother had way better snacks than my nutritionist mom made for us. Does anyone really want a carob cake for their birthday? Not this person. Do you know what else I could do at my friend's house where I belonged enough to get my own snack? I could clean up after myself. In fact, that was the expectation. I took turns right alongside my friend and her sister in the rotation of dish duty. I remember many years later sitting in that friend's house after a funeral, and it never once occurred to me that I shouldn't be one of the ones welcoming guests and taking their coats and showing them where the bathroom was and giving them something to eat or drink. Somewhere along the way, belonging in their household had developed into a sense of responsibility that I felt right alongside them. Now, I want to offer a couple more down-home examples, you might say, to illustrate this transition from outsider to insider, from guest to responsible host. And I want to offer examples that I hope most of us will understand or be able to attach from our own experience. Because this movement from detached guest to invested part of the group is something that we really need to understand and pay attention to if we want more people to belong in our community, in our nation. So here we go. You know how it is when you go to a party, think any kind of party, baby shower, retirement, wedding, birthday celebration for a 4-year-old. You've been to some kind of celebratory event like that? Okay. Well, sometimes the measure of how much you belong can be best seen in what your response is. For example, when one of the 4-year-olds starts pulling on the hair of another child, or when the family dog goes sailing through the air and lands food side down. Here's the test. Do you feel like it's someone else's job to respond? Do you call for mom or the oldest person in the house, or do you pick up tell them why it's not nice to pull somebody else's hair? Do you discreetly move the dog away and get something to pick up the poo? Are you following me? There's an intangible something that happens in us when we belong. It's as if a part of us is seen and valued, and thus we become integrated. We have a place and we know it. Even when it's not always easy, we know that we're invested as a stakeholder, not just an interested outside observer who sits and thinks, gee, I sure hope somebody cleans that up. Some of the groups that I think do a really good job of building belonging intentionally are 12-step groups. When people join 12-step programs to recover from a substance use disorder or some other pattern of behavior that's negatively impacting their lives, they show up as they are, honest about their struggle. And one of the best things that these groups do is welcome a wide swath of people with compassion because they know something of the same struggle. When folks first come, of course they are expected to focus on themselves and their own recovery. They attend meetings. They may have a sponsor who serves as a personal coach for them, a personal support, and that may be all that they do for a while. They receive. They strive for healing. They practice new ways of being. But then somewhere along the way, part of their own recovery becomes about helping others. Maybe they become the one who opens the door and sets up the chairs. Maybe they're the one who passes out sobriety chips for those important anniversaries. But part of belonging for many in 12-step groups is to participate in helping others find a place where they can belong and begin their own sense of healing. In fact, that's incorporated in the 12th step. Service to others who are going through what you have also gone through and are still on some level going through. That's not unlike the practice of building belonging that we are exploring this month here in this spiritual community. When folks visit for the first time, and if it's your first time, really listen to this. It's usually as a bit of an outside observer because it's hard to feel like you belong when you're still figuring things out. And belonging takes place over time with familiarity. When new folks come, we want you to just relax and receive if that is what you need. Be cared for and encouraged. In fact, we want that for everyone all the time. But after a while, when there has been a shift in your own thinking or your heart from, oh yeah, I know that church, I've gone there a time or two, to this is my community. When that shift happens, it's worth noticing as a gift of belonging. So when that happens here, maybe after a week or 10 years, depending on your process and pace, but when that happens, friends, listen to this good news. You can get your own snack. In fact, you can help make snacks for others who are still feeling that tentative way you did when you first arrived. And in a couple of weeks, that's 2 weeks from today, when we have our Blessing of the Animals service, you know where I'm going. In a couple of weeks, if there's an accident, any one of you can clean it up, and I hope somebody does. And by the way, you are all somebody. Now, I want to widen the aperture of our focus beyond this community to this world we share for just a moment. I've been saying all month that this theme of building belonging isn't some abstract theoretical exercise. Not only is it extremely relevant to this faith community at this time in our life together, it is extremely relevant to this nation that we call the United States of America, and to our broader world. Those of us who may feel the most sense of belonging in the U.S., which may be reinforced by our privilege or the fact that we know our long ancestral line here, and I should mention that just knowing that is itself a privilege, or the fact that we have not yet been a part of a group currently being targeted. Those of us with the most sense of belonging, I'm just going to say it, may have the most responsibility for cleaning up the mess around us, literally and figuratively, and helping to save the lives of those who are being harmed. When the hall monitors and the babysitters aren't around, when those who have official responsibility are abdicating theirs, it is up to us, those of us who have felt like we belong here, to do something about it. And I know many of you are, and many more of you want to be. I hope that belonging in this particular community does increase your sense of responsibility for our collective well-being, as well as your sense of agency that you do have something to offer that is needed. Would you take a breath with me? Too many people in the world are feeling alone and afraid and unsure about where to turn. We do not promise that those feelings will go away when you belong to a community like ours, but we can testify that the burdens can be more easily lifted when we do it together. It's also true that the resources that we have to meet our common challenges are exponentially multiplied when we bring them together in a spirit of love, when we work for love, for peace, for justice, as our signs say, together.
Thank you, Karma, as always. My name is Pat Moore. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a member of the worship committee, and this isn't the time in the service when we receive the offering from the congregation. All Sunday non-pledge cash offerings are shared with the monthly Charities with Soul. This month's charity is ILAP, Immigrant Legal Advocacy Project. Please join me in the congregational response. May these offerings sustain and grow the work of this church, weaving a tapestry of love and action. Thank you.
And in body, if you are able, for our closing songs. They are both to the tune of Finlandia, and the words are on the screen.
This is my song. We would be one.
You may be seated. These closing words are by the Reverend Scott Taylor. Having received sanctuary for our heavy hearts, may for those feeling alone. Having been renewed in spirit, may we remind others why hope is always worth the risk. Having returned to the truth of our interconnection, may we remember that injustice afflicted on one is injustice afflicted on us all. And having received the blessing of belonging, may we work to widen the circles that have kept others out for far too long. And because we want you to belong, we'll end with some invitations and opportunities for engagement. The QR code that you'll see on the screen will take you to our website where all of this information is kept, but we want you to note a few things. You all should have received an email this week from the chair of our Board of Trustees, Kurt Neufeld, inviting you to review a report from our growth task force that met over the summer, and very importantly, to ask more about what the Fuller congregation is wanting, needing, and willing to do to make room for more in the circle of our congregation. The deadline for that survey is October. If you did not receive that email, it means you're not yet on our list, and we would love to rectify that. If you're with us in person, please stop by the visitor table in the back and give us your information. If you're watching online, you can email administrator@uubrunswick.org, and Shirley will add you to our list. The Art Committee is excited that Diana Mullins, our September artist, is with us this morning and happy to talk with you about her art. After the service in a moment, she will be by the door, outside the door, to the May Sarton room. Inside the May Sarton room after service, there will be an information session about our small groups, which will be launching soon. We call them Chalice Circles. Stop by for more information if you want. And then all of you should know that registration for those is now open on the UUCB website under Adult Faith Formation. Also, the Spiritual Formation Program for Children is in need of trained volunteers to lead some upcoming workshops. There will be a volunteer training next Sunday from 11:30 to 2:30. If you have questions about any of the formation programs, you can email Tobin at lsf-director@uubrunswick.org. And to conclude our month, where we're focusing on building belonging, we have a special invitation for you to attend worship next Sunday. This is being led by the worship committee and will also include one of the famous volunteer/committee fairs that showcase all the good work being done by committees, with plenty of opportunities for you to check out which one you might like to work with over the course of this next year. We are so glad that you're a part of this group. Please take advantage of these opportunities to entrench your sense of belonging. Greet your neighbors as you leave.